What's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Keep Going podcast. Today's guest is Keith Tillman. He's a realtor with Black Label Realty. And in this episode, we discuss his upbringing growing up in Lawton, how early on he built his rental portfolio and began flipping houses, but he knew that he was outgrowing that city. His wife trusted him and they made the move to Oklahoma City and grew like never before. In the past few years, he's excelled as a real estate agent and also transitioned into a role of leadership, building a team, leading by example, and always making sure that he handles his business and continues to push his limits. This episode was so much fun, not only learning his story, but both getting to learn a little bit about each other, how we are as men, how good it feels to hear that you're doing a good job, even though it's not required, and just the importance of camaraderie in good conversation. I appreciate you a lot for your vulnerability, brother. Hope you all enjoy this episode. As always, keep going. Brother, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming by, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
I've been looking forward to it. Like you said this morning, it was like, no, I want to do that. Like, I want to make sure and get that time with him. It's on the schedule, but it's also just important. And we've been around each other for, I don't know how many years now.
Doesn't feel like it, but when you think about it, it's like...
How long have you been in real estate?
So I moved in Oklahoma City in 2019.
Okay, so we've been around each other for over 6 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like we even worked out one deal together.
Yep, we did. Yeah. And that was what I was telling you when we weren't recording is, that's the cool part about interviewing the people that are in real estate, because one, the other people get to learn about them, but it's really nice to see not only the real estate, but also like who they are, because everyone's such good people. Mm-hmm. I know there's some bad apples, but when people ask me about Oklahoma City community as far as real estate, like it's a pretty good community. I don't know how it is other places, but I mean, that's why we even have a relationship.
Oklahoma City in general.
Yeah, for sure.
You see visiting teams, like when we have Thunder games and whatnot, I'll kind of feel it too.
Mm-hmm. So you said you came here in 2019?
Mm-hmm. Well, from Lawton.
That's where I was born. So
really?
Indian Hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I've seen you on Mount Scott and whatnot.
Yep. So I go out there a lot. Mount Scott. Yeah. So you grew up in Lawton?
Yeah, born and raised.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I didn't do any living there when I was born. Came to Oklahoma City, but
nice.
Man, let's see. We're probably born real close to each other.
Yeah, for real. What year were you born?
92. I don't know how old you are.
87. I'm 38, yeah.
You look really young. I couldn't tell.
I appreciate it.
You're probably like, Zach's a baby. Man, as far as Lawton, I always ask people, because it's always hit or miss. When you grow up in Lawton, is the refuge cool to go to or no?
Yes.
Okay.
You just kind of, you learn it when you get a little bit older, like junior high, high school. You don't know nothing about it until then. Kind of depends on your background too. Like, I was raised by my grandma, so we didn't do a whole lot. She tried to take us places when I got a little bit older, and that's kind of when I learned when I was like late in high school. Mm-hmm. So, but it's kind of funny because you kind of get used to it when you're down there. Mm. And so when I moved up here, it was like, oh, I heard of wildlife refuge. I'm like, yeah, Mesa Park, yeah, like it's super cool to go to, but I just kind of grew up around it, so it's like it was fine. It wasn't like great, It's
super unique. It's a really cool area of the state, and it is funny when people haven't, though. Yeah. Like, obviously, you got used to it, but even myself, I go down there, but I'll talk to people, and they're like, I've never even heard of that. And I was like, with all the stuff you do, because it's a lot of outdoors people, I'm like, it's just an hour away.
Yeah. I would say that is pretty cool, because, like, Lawton has this reputation of being, like, shady 580 and kind of hood and kind of ghetto, but, like, there is some beautiful parts of Lawton that, like, people aren't aware of, like that, right?
Yeah, the landscape. And what would you think then, as far as not just the landscape, but maybe stuff people wouldn't know, as far as the good things that
there's some good people in Lawton. There's some really good people, just like Oklahoma City, right? Like, it's an hour and a half away, so some really good people, really good, really humble people, some good roots there, and Lawton is like, there's a lot of different backgrounds in Lawton because of the military, because people come from all over, and then they get stationed there and they stay there. So, like, most people in Lawton are brought to Lawton or from other places some way or fashion. So
when you grew up, you had a lot of diversity as far as friends and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's a little hidden gem. I know it has its reputation, but there's certain sections that are cool. I mean, I didn't grow up there.
It has a reputation somewhere. It's just a lot smaller, so it's harder to like hide. Right.
Well, what brought you to Oklahoma City then?
Man, so me, my wife, and my daughter, I have two now. I just had one at the time. Man, so I was always like, I like to do stuff. We like to do stuff, especially as a family. Like, we like to do stuff as a family all the time. So every weekend, we would catch ourselves either going to Dallas or going to Oklahoma City and just kind of being bored a lot. And I was working a corporate job with AT&T then, and I felt like at the time, I outgrew Lawton. Like, I wanted more opportunities. I wanted to be able to do things on a whim. Like, hey, let's go here tonight versus like planning the weekend because we had to travel and stuff like that. So like, genuinely, authentically, we moved along just to have more to do, more opportunities for us. And also I was thinking for the future, like my daughter, more opportunities for her because I didn't want her to just, a lot of people like they're borderline and they stay there because that's all they know. So I wanted her to experience more things in a bigger city.
How old was she at the time?
2019. So what's that, 6 years ago? She's 13 now.
13, wow.
Yeah, so she was like 7.
Gosh, that's crazy. So old enough to really know the move.
Yeah. She knew the move, but like it was easier to handle than like moving at 13.
Yeah, because then you're junior high, you got all your friends, yeah.
Yeah, and it was actually worked out good for her because, for a couple of years she kind of struggled in school. We were kind of told like she needs to be held back. We didn't want to do that. We're kind of fighting it as a parent. Like, no, she's smarter than that,
Yeah.
So like when we finally realized it might be smarter for her and there's actually a lot of benefits to it, then the fear is like her being bullied in TEs because, all our friends moved up. But when we moved up here, I was like, this is the perfect time to do it. Nobody knows her.
Yeah, then it's just a transition.
Exactly.
How was it for you and your wife coming to, I mean, I know it's not too far, but coming to a new city, was it easy to settle in or?
Yeah, it was almost too easy. Because Lawton, there's nothing to do. And like people say there's nothing to do in Oklahoma City. And I've heard that a lot. It's like when you're from a small city, like there's a crap ton to do here. Right. And so like every weekend we just wanted to do something different every single weekend. So we're like spending money like crazy, just doing different things, going to different restaurants, eating out. I mean, it was easy to settle in. But for me, I was like, I mean, the move, I was great in the area here. I couldn't wait. Right. My wife, she's nervous because her twin sister's in Lawton. Her mom is in Lawton, who she's very, very close with. And so like, it took a couple of years of convincing her to make the move until I had to make her realize that like, they're just an hour and a half away. Like you can still visit them whenever you want and have more impactful visits because instead of just hanging out in the living room for a couple hours, like they can come up here, spend the whole weekend. You can go take them to places that they've never heard of, go out to eat at different places. And so when she came to the realization how easy like those visits can be, and she just really supported me. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna trust you. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And I like what you said, man, the more impactful visits. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Because we were talking earlier and you're like, oh, I need to schedule some time for myself from time to time. And it made me think now of there's never enough time. Like my grandpa had passed and today when I was driving, I was thinking about him and I was like, even if he was still here, it would never be enough. Yeah. So you just want to have as many impactful moments as possible. So for you to say that is huge because...
Like, what are you doing with the time that you have?
Yeah, because you could just sit, but that's not... I like that.
Like, that's what they would do. Her mom would come over and they would kind of sit on their phones and kind of gossip.
It was more of a being in the space.
Yeah, and go home. And now it's like, you stay for 2 or 3 days, you're eating breakfast together, you eat dinner together, you're going to this mall together, you're going to this park together, you're seeing your grandkids. It's just, events are way more impactful.
Yeah, it's a nice experience for sure.
Yeah.
So you said AT&T, right?
Yeah, for 14 years.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's some longevity.
Yeah.
So you quit there when you were moving to Oklahoma City or when you got here, you were still with them?
So at that time, I was what's called a fiber solutions executive.
Okay. And
so basically I managed business accounts doing like fiber sales, like internet sales and phone sales. And so I kind of had like a territory and I would drive to have business meetings with CEOs and decision makers and things like that. So when I moved up here, I really didn't change anything I was doing because I was always on the road. Mm-hmm. In fact, most of the time I was like either in rural areas or in Oklahoma City. And so I had a company car. Mm-hmm. So like I really didn't change my day to day.
How long were you with AT&T or like once you got to Oklahoma City, how long was it till you got into real estate?
So I was already in real estate, but just kind of on a smaller scale. I had like,
You were an agent already?
no.
Okay, what were you doing?
So I was like investor.
Oh, nice.
Investor only. So I was like part-time investor, side hustle, right? Had done a couple flips. We were doing like 1 or 2 flips a year at that time. We had like 6 rentals.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, to be working and being in a small town, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
What jump started that? Because I feel like for someone that was, saying less opportunity, but you're already doing flips and rentals, like
I kind of fell into it, to be completely honest. So, when I first started at ATT, I was working in a store as a sales rep. And a client that always came to see me as a real estate agent, his name was Chris Weaver. And he was always talking to me about, you should get into real estate. You should buy, you can make money, blah, blah, blah. So after him telling me to do this for like a year and a half, I had a baby. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we're married now. We had a baby, right? Went backwards. We had a baby. And so like that really that changed my mind, but it sounds kind of corny, but it changed my life, right? It sounds kind of corny, but it's true because it changed my mind, the way I thought about things. So like now I had to think about things from like a different perspective. So of course I wanted to get a house, but like I didn't know nothing about buying a home. I was concerned about having payments, and I knew I wasn't going to stay in Lawton forever. I just knew that was the only thing I knew. I was not going to stay in Lawton forever. I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm going to get out of here. And so anyways, the idea came for me to just like buy a house cheap, remodel it, move into it, and sit on equity. So I was so much in love with that idea because I knew that like if I ever had the opportunity to move, I could move and just sell it and make money.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first house we did that with was our personal home.
Okay.
And then I found a VP of a bank. So I grew up playing soccer, and I played with this kid. His dad was the VP of a bank, and he basically allowed me to buy a house and rehab it. And as long as the all-in was under 80%, I wouldn't have to put money down. So like my connections allowed me to do that. So I got into my first house with no money down, literally no money down. And then so my first roadblock, so I thought, was to have my girlfriend at the time see the vision that I seen. So I brought her there to see it, and it was this house with like red carpets, green checkered kitchen. It was a foreclosure, right? So like I had the worst thoughts in my mind. She's gonna shoot this down, but she immediately was like, "Yeah, let's do it. I want to pick. I already know I'm gonna make white tile here. I'm gonna do countertops there." So that was our first experience, and then like since we did it together, she loved it, I loved it, and then we moved into it. We owed like 85. We knew we could sell it for like 140. So like I have a newborn baby, girlfriend. We were very serious. I'm making decent money at my age, and my monthly payments was like $399. I own this house.
And you had the nest egg. Like the payment is great because it's keeping your monthly stuff down, but you were already had that cushion.
Yeah.
So you already had like a plan B or a plan A even. Yeah. Like when we're ready. That's awesome.
So I loved it so much, and I knew how much I could make. And like I said, my payments were $399. I had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet. It's like, man, we should do this again, but like actually sell it, make good money, And so that's when that kind of jump started that idea. We did it once. Hey, we made $30K. What if we did this 5 times a year?
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when we really started getting into it.
And that was while you were still in Lawton?
Yeah.
How many years were you building up?
I was still in Lawton because my girlfriend at the time my wife, right? She was in school to be a scrub tech, and towards the end of like the last couple of years of Lawton, her dad was sick with cancer. So like that was kind of like not even an option to move,
Mm-hmm.
And then my grandma got sick at the time. She raised me, and then like, at the time she was like 89, 90 years old. So like I couldn't see myself like not being available to her if she didn't need me. So eventually, like, unfortunately, my wife's dad passed away, cancer, on my daughter's birthday. She was 2. Yeah, it was sad. And then my grandma passed away. And then basically, like, fast forward 6 months after my grandma passed away, that's when we kind of made the leap. Because for me, selfishly, I was like, there's nothing else keeping me in Lawton, and I just know I'm outgrowing it, right? And then, my wife, she's a little bougie, she's high maintenance, so she wants a fancy lifestyle. So I'm like, we gotta get out of here if you want me to give you more in life to what we have. Like, we kind of outgrown the city. We have to go to somewhere bigger that'll allow us to spread our wings a little bit. So.
And that's really impactful, though, to trust yourself and have a partner that would do it with you. And I also think it's really nice when you do like when you have the awareness to know it's time to move on, because it's hard to do that. It's like, it's so easy to be comfortable. So for you to be like, no, I had to be there for my grandmother and now she's gone. It's like the transition. Now it is time for this. And now you flourished into a totally like new level, but you had a lot of, like wisdom early with that, like with the real estate, but still having a consistent job and then knowing it was time to move. Like, it means you were raised, you know, with your grandmother's love and like that focus, but that took a lot of like your grit. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's hard work. Cause like you said, most people would stay.
Yeah, it's true. I just didn't want to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, I had, not every, investment opportunity worked out. I had some failures, but that's where I learned the most is the failures. I really didn't learn anything on the ones that were easy. Right?
Yeah, because it just happens.
Right. But the ones where I failed, but that's when I knew that's like, I wanted to keep doing it was because when I would fail, I never like lost money and went, man, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too risky. Like, it was like, nah, man, like next time I'm gonna do this differently. Mm-hmm. And like, that's kind of where me and my wife up in, cause she's like, we're not ever gonna do that house like that again. Like, no, well, the next one we're gonna do just like that, but we're gonna do this different. Mm-hmm. Right. So like, that's kind of when I knew that I loved it and I want to stick with it is when I didn't run from it and I wanted to keep doing it.
So once you got settled in Oklahoma City, tell me that transition. Because, obviously you've been booming since. Yeah.
So I got settled. It took a little bit to kind of get back into it as much as I wanted to because, after the move, you got to get settled, get the wife and the family, everybody, my daughter, new school, all that good stuff. But I knew that I wanted to continue to scale. And I knew I wanted to really, my priority was flipping like I wanted to get to a point where I was flipping like 10 houses a month. But I knew that like between interest payments and holding costs and all that, like I couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. So I knew that like I had to grow my rental portfolio to get there. And then ultimately I knew I wanted to quit my job, but I was making good money. I was making like at the time like $80,000. Eventually got to like $100,000 a year, out of company car, a laptop, and all that. So it was like hard to give all that up.
Yeah, that's a lot of stability.
Right. And then so that was 2019, 2020, COVID hit. Right. So it was like even scarier. And then honestly, my job it came to where like I was doing everything at home, and then my job became easy at the time to where like I could work 20 hours a week at home and still make $80,000 a year. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to grow my real estate portfolio while doing this at the same time as long as I can. I'm going to be aggressively patient. Yeah. And wait until the time's right. I had some milestones I wanted to hit. Like I wanted to make sure I had my own car, I didn't even have my own laptop, nothing. I didn't have my own car, but I wanted to make sure I had those. That way it wasn't like, I wanted to basically, when I took that leap of faith, I wanted to have all my eggs in the basket and know exactly what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And so I came to a point though, my job, when you're working corporate jobs, like they do yearly changes. It doesn't matter what you think. A lot of times it impacts your money, which in all impact your family, and everything like that. I hated it. I got to a point where I hated my job. I was depressed. I'd be almost in tears sometimes because I had to work. And so finally I said, you know what? I prayed about it. I knew it was like, I got to start preparing to quit. But I have to be able to replace that income and have to be confident in my ability to do so. Well, that's kind of when I did a little bit of wholesale, but I really wasn't like my bread and butter. It was just whenever the opportunity is there. It was good money, but I didn't really care for it so much. But then the idea came to get my license and become a realtor. And I was like, with all at that time, I probably flipped 20 houses, maybe 30. And I've been a part of transactions where we work with good realtors and bad realtors. And when we work with the bad ones, I'm always like, dude, like, I'm not a realtor, right? But I feel like this is a bad one. Mm-hmm. And I know I could do a better job than this one. And then I had that corporate experience, and so I had like business etiquette, email etiquette, knew how to talk to people. So finally I was like, man, I think I could be a realtor if I really wanted to. So that's when the idea came. So I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna get my license because I know I'm gonna quit my job, but I don't want to be a full-time investor because one, that's too risky. Two, I'm paying contractors to do all the work. So really I'm just sat home doing nothing while the contractors are working. That's a lot of wasted time. And three, when I have these opportunities that I can't wholesale, where I don't want to buy, I can just list them. So basically it's like the last tool in my tool belt. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? like I talked to God, I prayed about it. I felt like he was telling me to get my license, but I was just like kind of fighting it. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to get my license. I'm going to try it. If I hate it, then I'll just stop. That's it. Very simple. And if I love it, then that's what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my license, started doing it. I immediately fell in love with it. It was like a plug and play for what I was already doing, just in a different industry.
Like you said, another tool belt as well. Or like another tool. Like you already were equipped with the skills, but on the real estate side, you're already doing basically that.
Right.
Because you were selling them, you're flipping them, like you're doing all the aspects.
Right.
But you just got to add another income stream into it.
Right. And then when I was working at AT&T, I was like setting appointments, emailing decision makers, cold calling, door knocking, like all these things that a lot of realtors hate doing, getting going, that help you get started. I was already doing that. And it was easy, but it was like, now I'm doing it for something that I love and have passionate for. So it was like, you know, basically I was just turning my side hustle to a main hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
What was that jump like then when you started?
It was scary, but it was easy. It's crazy because like I used to, like we used to be able to work from home at AT&T, and then they made us go back to the office, and I was pissed. Did not want to go back to the office. This is stupid, and I didn't do all this at home. But then when I quit, I started going to the office every day, you know, real estate office. That's where I wanted to be because I loved it, you know. And I remember the very first Monday, I used to hate Mondays, dude. I used to hate Mondays, right? Very first Monday that I didn't have to work for AT&T, and that was just full-time real estate. I was so excited, bro. I woke up early. I couldn't wait to get in the office, like get going where I started. I had all these ideas and didn't know where to start. Mm-hmm. But that's when I realized, like, man, this is the right move because, like, I'm happy on a Monday. And
isn't that wild how quick that changed for you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm instantly, like, just quitting a job, and now you're like, no, I want to get out of the house. Because I know what you mean. Like, that's awesome.
Like, things I hated doing, like working Monday, waking up Monday, like, now I knew what I was doing with a smile on my face, going to the office. I used to fight my manager about it. I don't want to go to the office. Now I'm going to the office voluntarily. Yeah. 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. You know?
Like maybe one of the only people there.
Yeah, for real. So I knew I had the work ethic, and man, there's like another small piece. I'll touch on it real quick. There's another small piece that kind of delayed it. Mm-hmm. Like, so me and my wife, so I met this realtor. Her name's Mary Beth. You probably heard of her.
Maybe, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, I met her at a networking event probably 8 months before I quit. And I remember I didn't want to go. And I met her, and she shared with me that she just got her license and she was there at a network, and she didn't want to go either, but she got out her comfort zone and forced herself to go. Well, I forced myself to go. And I didn't have a good reason. I just wanted to be home. But anyways, I forced myself to go. She forced herself to go. We met. She really reminded me of my wife. So I thought they would be really good friends. So anyways, fast forward, we stayed in connection. And then she found this house that was like being foreclosed on. It was a brand new built home. The builder, I guess, let it go. I heard he had moved out of state. Was going through a divorce, all this stuff. So she brought it to us, and it was about 50% complete. Like, it didn't have no woodwork in it, no concrete outside, out the front or the back. And it was in the same school district we were already in. So my wife thought of this idea is like, let's just buy it, help out, finish it, and then we'll move into it. Because at the time, she really wanted a new built house, but I felt like, one, we couldn't afford it, and two, if we tried to force it, we would regret it. Mm-hmm. So it was like kind of like that medium, like you're getting a new build and we're doing it.
Yeah, you're picking everything.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to move into it with equity because I moved into it at 80%.
Yeah.
So basically we bought it, finished it, but we bought it under my business. So then we had to do a refinance into our personal name. Well, I needed that W-2 income to be approved for that loan. Yeah. And the closing kept getting dragged because we had a shitty builder. Oh my gosh. He thought he was a builder. He's not really a builder, but it got dragged, and then finally it's like closing kept getting pushed. And I was like, man, I got to quit this job. I'm depressed. I fucking hate it. Mm-hmm. Like, I get out. She's like, well, we got to close on this house first. So finally it was like in October. And I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. But with closing changes, it was like October 28th is our closing. I said, man, if we don't close, we don't close. I'm genuinely taking a leap of faith right now, putting it in God's hands. If we don't close and it gets pushed, then we're not getting out. I said, so it's in God's hands, but I can't do this no more. I'm depressed. I hate it. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. So I put in my 2 weeks. We closed the 28th, and then my last day was the 31st. So November 1st, 2 years ago, I went full-time real estate.
It was only 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 years.
That's crazy how long we've been doing deals then.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, 2 years? I thought this was like so many years ago. That's
yeah. November 1st. So that's like my,
so much stress.
November 1st is my 2-year full-time anniversary.
November 1st, you always like probably get a whole bunch of new energy.
Yeah.
Like, another year.
I survived another year. Yeah.
I love that because literally when I was going to quit my standard job, I worked at Home Creations. So I was selling new homes.
I've heard that story.
Yeah. I literally bought the house to quit. So you saying that, like, I get it. Because I closed on my house and I was like, quitting.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm out. Got the loan.
It's so funny. Like, I was like, how am I going to go and have a more successful life and can't get a loan on a house? Like, at first, obviously. But I love that. And the fact that I
think I did one deal as a realtor before I quit.
Before?
But I did one deal as a realtor when I was part-time, right? But I also did one flip. So that kind of gave me the cushion to like be able to like
take a couple months where it was slow.
Yeah, where like, okay, if I don't have a transaction in 3 months, I'm okay. Right? I'll be stressed, right?
Yeah.
But I'm okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
no, I get it.
It's very planned out.
I like the leap of faith. I think that's awesome that you're like, no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. My wife, she was scared. I mean, she was more scared than me, obviously, like naturally, right? I'm out like, look, we've been together, at that time, 12 years. It's like, I've always taken care of us. Everything's been fine. Like, you just gotta trust me. She did. So she trusted me. So I gave her kudos that she always supported what I wanted to do, even if she didn't completely agree with it.
That 2 years, I can't believe that because how successful you are. And I know everyone's measure of that is different. So I'm not trying to like put a label on you, but from the outside looking in, you're so consistent. So to know it's so new is amazing.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And I hope you, like I said earlier when I was like, you should schedule some time for yourself. I hope you make sure to tell yourself good job too.
I do. That's probably one of my biggest weaknesses, honestly.
It means a lot.
Yeah, because, there's failures in between, right? And bad decisions. And so sometimes I focus solely on that and not what I'm doing that's good, right? And like, I have these goals and dreams that are here and I might be here. So I feel like, I got to keep going because I'm not here yet. But then what I forget is that like, I'm here, right? My goals and dreams are here, but this used to be here. Right. So like where
and
I'm
you
at
used
today,
to be way down.
Where I'm at today used to be a goal of mine, right? And so like, but I'm always thinking forward, thinking ahead. Very short lived, like kudos, congratulations, and move on to the next one.
I think there's a healthy way to do it that everyone figures out for themselves. That's why earlier when I was telling you about schedule and stuff, I was like, but do it your way. Yeah. Like do what works for you. But you just like, you don't want to miss those moments either. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's really, especially in real estate, because it doesn't matter if you're a realtor, flipping, or anything. It's all like on to the next. Even when you're buying rentals, you get that one. You're like, okay, it's on to the next. Yeah. So it's easy to get caught up, but I say that to people I feel that need to hear it. Like you want to make sure and enjoy the journey along the way, because I'll speed myself up or get stressed. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I woke up and hung out with my dogs, but then I did 2 or 3 appointments, made some money, but now I'm having lunch with my wife, and I'm like, you got to think of the stuff that's not always on the business. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. That's like a big priority and focus for me now.
Well, you had to get to where you wanted to be not that you're complacent, but you had to build that level.
Right.
So maybe now that's a new chapter that you can just add some, but the consistency is huge. Like from the outside looking in, that's what I see with you all the time. Like we were talking about Instagram and stuff earlier. Like I see it so much, but in a good way. Yeah. So I hope you know that you're not one of those bad realtors or bad investors,
Yeah. No, that's nice to hear. It genuinely is. So, because we don't see what other people see. That's what someone told me, though. You'll never see yourself in the eyes of somebody else. Ever.
Bro, seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You just get this version you got.
Yeah.
This reality.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because it would be nice to see what other people see sometimes. Yeah. You just never know.
I thought maybe reach out to somebody and say, hey, when you see me, what do you see? What's your thoughts about me? Just ask somebody that will give you honest opinion.
Ask me about you.
What do you see? What's your idea of me?
So I said the consistency, but I met you at networking events, and I always thought that your energy was upbeat, but not fake.
Right.
So upbeat, but not like just trying to be friends with everybody.
Right.
But I mean that in a good way.
Right.
So that to me shows that you came from beginnings where maybe you had to be selective on like who you could trust and who you couldn't, as far as like friends and business and things like that, because that's how I was. And it also, you weren't overcompensating in a way where I couldn't believe what you're saying.
Right.
So I would say authentic. I see the provider role by watching you with your kids and your wife. But even just today, getting to spend a little time together before the pod, the sense of focus on being the provider and like how much that means to you, you can just feel it as well. So I would just say a great man that's focused, authentic, cares about his family, has a drive that's crazy, because doing 30 flips while working at AT&T is insane.
Yeah.
And then someone that still has a lot of room to grow, not only professionally, but individually, but not in a way that you're less than.
Right.
You've just achieved so much, and now you can kind of pick and be selective of what you improve.
Yeah.
So I would say congrats.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir, bro.
Yeah.
You got to hear it.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
especially as men.
Dude, they really just doubted that out of my mind. Us men, bro, we don't stop to tell each other enough. Like, we're proud of each other.
And I wasn't always like that, but then once I started being like that, it was addicting to where I'm like, man, good job on that. Or,
bro, you know what I do now that I used to never do? I would hug a man.
yeah,
He's just like, what's up, bro? Now it's like, bro, come on, bring it in.
I hug
like,
almost everybody. Even last night I went to a networking event and I was hugging everybody. I was like, no, man, we got to embrace.
Yeah.
Like
we got a lot to be thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're doing a good job as a dad. You're doing a good job as a provider, as a husband. Like, you mean, I think you are, and maybe you're trying to improve in other ways, but overall, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, my wife always says men have it really, really hard. And I love when she like breaks it down for me, because she's like, you all just have to do everything. There's a lot that women do. Like, I always give grace to my wife because I wouldn't even be where I'm at.
Right.
Like, she improved my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, everything. Mm-hmm. She's like, but you get all this pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's something where it is nice to hear from your significant other, but that camaraderie amongst other men, especially ones in similar profession like us, it's needed. I love like going to events and seeing high performers like yourself or other friends, and then just having a real moment of congrats with them. Yeah. Like, hey, I know you do a lot and like you're Superman, but like, it's cool to see you doing good, bro.
And that is important too. Like, when you tell people that, we're just saying it naturally, like conversation. Like, I have people tell me that, like, bro, I see you killing a good job. And I'm like, I am?
Yeah, you always think like,
I gotta stop. Like, I guess I am doing pretty well.
I used to say, like, it always looks better online. I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? Like, I shouldn't downgrade it.
Yeah.
But that's something else. You don't like compliments that much, right?
It's funny.
Because you don't look like it.
I always tell my wife that, like, I do need a little bit of reassurance.
Okay, so you do like them.
From significant others, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, like, I don't really seek that from, like, the general public. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to hear it from people that are close to me, but, like, I don't really seek that from, like, people that are not close to me.
I guess not seek. I guess I mean when someone says you're killing it and you're like,
Yeah.
So like, that's where I had to start being like, you know what? Maybe I am killing it. Like,
it's weird because, like, it's nice to hear. Honestly, it is nice to hear, genuinely. But I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and you don't really know how to feel all the way either. Like, it's nice to hear, but
I was just complaining that I needed to do more, and you're telling me I'm killing it. Like, what? I guess I know, you know.
That's why not only in like business life, but in personal life, I've tried to do better at receiving compliments and then not downgrading accomplishments. Yeah. So, like, I've been rock climbing for a year, and it's just been new and fun. Mm-hmm. But if someone was like, are you a rock climber? Like, before I started trying to think like this, I'd be like, no, I just do it. And it's like, well, then you bro. Yeah. Like, you do these things. And I was interviewing a guy, his name's Paulie, and we were talking about compliments. And like now it's an inside joke with us where we try to compliment each other and just say thank you. Because one time I was climbed up, came down. My wife's friend was like, hey, man, you did that so fast. You look good, man. I was like, yeah, you should have seen Rachel do it, though. She killed it. And then I was like, why didn't I defer? Yeah. And then he did it, right? Yeah. I was like, hey, bro, you look good. And he said, thanks. And then just moved on. And I was like, that's so much healthier. Yeah. Like he just said, thank you. And then continued instead of like, yeah, but, or I like your outfit. Yeah, but this, I got another shirt. Or it's like, I don't know why we're like that. But
bro, when you said that too, I thought of the book Atomic Habits.
Yep.
It's a really good book.
Yes, it is.
And like they talk about changing your mentality, right? And like whether it's a good habit or a bad habit, like if you don't want to be a drinker, then just say I'm not a drinker. Like, because we get stuck when we go public places, they offer you, hey, you want to drink? You're like, oh no. You just say I'm not a drinker, you know. Or vice versa, if you don't want to be a drinker, say, you know, I'm a drinker, I'm a gambler, and that doesn't sound good. So then you have to change that habit, right? So like, yeah, I'm a rock climber, even though you do it as a side hustle or like a hobby, yeah, but you're a rock climber.
Yeah, you've got to. Right. I love what you said though. I'm not a drinker. Like, I think sometimes people, and even myself, they think it has to be absolute yes or absolute no to like be able to be said. But it's like, no, I'm not drinking, and then just leave it.
Right.
Like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know what it is, because it's not a lack of confidence or a lack of self-belief, because obviously you and I wouldn't even be anywhere near where we're at without those attributes. Right. But I don't know. Sometimes it just affects you. I don't know. Yeah.
One compliment I've got, like, so right now, humbly, I'm the top producing agent or brokerage for the year.
For the year?
Yeah.
Congrats.
So every now and
you
then,
all have killers at Black Label too.
Yeah, dude. We have a great group of people over at Black Label.
Bro, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So when it kind of became like, my broker started posting like monthly results, and then I was always at the top, right? And then I would go to the trainings or go in the office, and they'd be like, hey, Mr. Top Producer. And I'm like, stop, don't say that. I really used to be like, stop, don't say that. And I'm like, why? You are. like, that's true. It feels weird hearing it. I don't know what to say to it. You know, it's like, I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to take care of my family. You know?
Then you start minimizing. I'm just doing my thing.
Like, I'm not trying to be, but I'm like, you know what? I kind of am trying to be. I want to be the best. I want to be number one, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
And you're taking the actions to do so with your consistency, and like, you're a top producer, but even when we were talking earlier, you're like, yeah, but I don't ever want to miss a meeting or a training. Right. I want to be there. I want to set an example. I want to be a leader. That's why you are where you are. So I get it though. Yeah. Like, if anyone gets it, I get it. It's like, sometimes we surprise ourselves.
Like if I say, Zach, you got one of the best podcasts in the state.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what?
Yeah. Even now, I was like, what? You feel that. Like, so Haley, is it Donaldson?
Yeah.
So she's awesome. This lender had posted, I'm thinking of doing a podcast. Who should I talk to or something? She comments on there, and we don't talk regularly, but obviously we all know each other and we've had good experiences. And she's like, well, Zach runs one of the best podcasts in the state, or something like that. Like, amazing conversations. You should ask him. And I was like, she has never talked to me about my podcast.
I was just thinking that, dude. Like going back to our previous conversations, right, about being consistent and using social media to influence things, you know, and it's like, you barely talk, but something you're saying or doing is impacting people that you have no idea.
And like, reading that, I instantly was just inspired more than anything, because I was like, look at this. That's when she did not have to do that. Like, that's so unnecessary for anyone to feel that they need to say that. That's all genuine and from the heart. Yeah. And the same way, like, you're getting the top producer, that's genuine. They don't have to tell you that.
Right.
And they could just mind their business, but they want to give you the recognition.
It's funny because Helly's one of them that does that. Yeah.
So she must be just a lover, you know?
She's a lover. It's funny because we call her Hurricane Haley.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I mean, she's a lover, but she can be a fighter too, right?
Oh, I'm sure. You can just tell.
But she's genuine. She's honest, you know? So that's handy.
So both of us are getting this love, and we're like,
it's from the same person.
It's right on brand, though. Like, you saying that and her saying that, it's like, bro, one time I was at Home Depot, and this was early. I say early, but I've only been doing the pod for a year and a half, but it's still there you go.
Only, right? Only been doing it for a year and a half, where other podcasters are failing in 2 months.
See, we got to do better. Thank you, Keith. I needed this. But I went to Home Depot early in it, and I just was buying something for a flip. And she was like, "Oh, you're a podcaster?" And I like froze and was like, "What?" But I had my shirt on, and I was like, "Bro, you got it." And that's when I started leaning into the rock climber, or I am a this, or oh, I guess I am a this strategy, or whatever.
I'm a podcaster.
Like it's like, why are you even doing these things then? Like even you at the top producing, like why are you doing it if you're not gonna eventually hit that label?
Right.
Like you're gonna hit it. I mean, I don't know. It's really cool though.
Yeah.
It shows that we're genuine because it's not something we're seeking or forcing to be said.
Right.
So that is really nice to just get it authentically.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad we had this conversation, man. We're like learning so much about each other. It's crazy.
About ourselves as well.
We're just talking about our real estate journey. We're having like a man-to-man, like,
you're going to
do better.
I'm telling you, when I was interviewing Polly, I gave him a compliment at the end and he said, "Thank you." And just sat there. And then just now when I said only a year and you're like, only a year? Like, you need that. And episode I dropped Thursday, so yesterday, was one with 3 guys from the UK that are like brothers, entrepreneurs, been around each other. I'm friends with one of them and became friends with the other 2. And we sat down and we're sitting here starting the pod. I'm like, "Hey, thank you all for doing this." And then one of them looks at my friend, Taff, which is like one of his brothers, and was like, "How do you love yourself?" And like, it just was instant of getting checked. And that's honestly what everybody needs. Like even you checking me with that, like that's the real care and love, is like if you hear them say something, then like make sure they stay with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important. Like we say amongst men, and it's, you don't know how important it is, but it is. And me sitting there listening to them like talk through things, and then me and you doing this, and then I instantly think of all these other conversations where we both needed help.
Yeah.
And that's why this stuff is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool, man.
I'm proud of you, man.
You too, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Man, what is going on right now? I know you're top producing, but like, is it just everything you were already doing and then just elevated? Like I'm flipping more, I'm holding more. Like what's on the agenda?
So I'm flipping less.
Okay. Why though?
I got to a point where I was doing too much, like too many flips at the same time and overdoing it. It was costing too much, making bad decisions, rushing through it, not having the same quality that we used to have. And so we decided to kind of step back a little bit and do less. So instead of trying to like really just be smarter. So instead of like focusing on a number, hey, let's do 10 flips here, we're just going to do 1 or 2 at a time and focus on the quality and focus on like doing smarter flips, making sure that we're not losing money. You know what I mean? That's going to be flips that are worth our time. 2, what really changed my business as a realtor is when I took focus away from flipping and stopped doing so many. And I've put more energy into being real estate and being a realtor and doing those activities. My real estate business went through the roof. Like that's when I really went from like, I'm doing good to like, you're the best. So I was like, man, that's when I really realized like I'm only one person. Either I got to hire stuff out or I got to focus on 1 or 2 things at a time. I can't focus on too many things at a time. So that's when I decided I want to flip less. And then also we are thinking about the future, and we've kind of found this niche of midterms and Airbnbs. So now we're thinking we want to start, because at one point I had 40 rentals. But then I got to this point where like I had terrible tenants, people that owed money. I was trying to manage them all. I was taking all my time, all my energy. It was costing me way too much money. I wasn't making any money because of all the mistakes I was making. So it's like, well, if I'm
crazy to think you can't make any money on 40.
Yeah.
But that's the real real thing that can happen.
Yeah, hot in the summer in Oklahoma, and you got out of 40, you're guaranteed to have to place 3 HVAC units.
At least.
That's $21,000 minimal. Easy.
And what if you're only getting $100 on one or 200?
Exactly. And so that's when I decided I was going to get rid of most of them. And it's like, what's the point? I'm doing this to make money. I'm not making any money. I'm just putting it right back in when things break. And then we got into like Airbnbs and midterms and like kind of fell in love with it. It became our niche. He was like, you know what? We're going to scale back the rentals, take this money and invest it into midterms and Airbnbs. So I say that to say, going into 2026, there's one other piece. I did start a team like 2-3 months ago.
Of agents?
Yes.
Nice.
So just two. My sister and another guy's named Drake.
Oh, congrats.
So it started slow, brand new. I'm still learning how to lead as well. Other than I'm good at leading by example, but now I have to lead in other ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So them really doing well in 2026 is a big priority for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if they don't do well in 2026, I failed, like genuinely. So now, like going into 2026, I want to flip less, hold more, and honestly, I want to scale back as a realtor and focus more on them. So when I say scale back, like right now I'm averaging about 4 to 5 closings a month.
Mm-hmm.
I want to average about 2 to 3, but I want to make sure that my team is averaging 1 to 2 each per month.
And you know what's crazy is once you start doing that, it'll only be like 2 or 3 months, and then they're at 4 or 5.
Yeah,
because of what you're teaching them.
Yeah. So I want to spend more time training and then just basically teaching them to be a better version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what my priority and focus is going to 2026 is centralizing my goals around those things.
Well, it's going to take you to a new level too, because we can't do everything.
Yeah.
You have to give back some value to create more opportunity for others, which will in turn create it for you. And it'll probably help you be like even more. Okay, so what it makes me think of is like you'll be more impactful in those moments with them than like maybe the sitting on the couch with the phone, you know? Like right. Now these visits or now these training sessions like are going to be high value.
Right.
And that's like when you see those shirts where they're like, don't pay me for my time, pay me for my value, or like, yeah, the job took 5 minutes, but it's because I'm like so trained or whatever it is, or like how you make a transaction seamless. So it'll be cool to see, especially when they start killing it. Right. And then knowing that like you're the backbone of helping them, and then they're also putting in the work. It's great. And you're in a good environment. Yeah. Black Label, like I said, they just have some really good agents. They really do.
Yeah, I know you know Will Mahan, the broker, real well, and he's an amazing leader.
He's a great guy.
And mentor. I've become really, really good friends with him. So, I mean, I can call him anytime I want, and he'll be honest with you, give you good advice, check you when you need to be checked. So that's the best people to have around you.
Straightforward. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really good, man. I feel like even us, when we were talking, you said we did that transaction. It was not like a great one. For us, it was. For me and you, like personally.
Right.
Because it wasn't. I say personally, it was because it wasn't personal to us.
Right.
But like my buyer at the time was an out-of-state buyer. It wasn't the best buyer.
Yeah. A lot of demands.
A lot of demands.
And changes,
and then your seller's the one that's having to make those sacrifices. And luckily we got it closed and it's good. But that shows how intricate these relationships can be. Because like I'm really good friends with Cameron Burke. But the 2 deals we've done that were realtor deals where he was representing someone and so was I, never closed, and they were terrible. Yeah. But that's like a guy I care about. Same with you. And it's funny because that's why I said earlier when it's interviewing people in real estate, people won't realize how close some of these relationships are. Yeah. And that's why, like,
that's also why too, like, I really value like how I work with my other agents, right? Like it's very important. Like they're not just agents representing the buyer, representing the seller. Like you could be working with these agents again, 1 and 2. Like our reputation's everything, right? So like you really have to like treat your peers with respect and, you know, treat them like they're the CEO because they're the CEO of their real estate business, which is their name.
I mean, and it's so natural for you or I to do that. Yeah. Like I love having great interactions with agents. And you always remember the bad ones. You don't always remember like the great ones, but
if you go working with a buyer, right? For example, and you see a house, you go show it and you put an offer like, who's a listing agent? Zach. Oh, I love Zach.
Yeah.
I can talk to Zach, work with me, and I'll tell my buyers that I'm really good friends with the listing agent. Yeah, we've done a deal together. He's awesome. He'll make sure that if he can, we'll see it to the closing table. Like that's important to say. And vice versa, like this agent never gets back to you. Like I've said that about other listing agents that have the buyer like, man, just a heads up, like I'm gonna be working really hard to get this closed for you guys. This agent doesn't get back to you, they're not responsive, like, but we'll get through it together, you know. So like that prepares us as well.
I had one with my cousin earlier this year, and it sucked because it was such a dragged out transaction. And I was like, I promise this isn't how I operate. They're like, we know it's not how you operate. Like this is just how it's going. I was like, I'm trying to get an update, and It's unfortunate, but that's why the good relationships are so important, like you said, because when you do know the listing agent or do know the buyer's agent, you call them with a smile on your face, ready to interact. How can we make this work?
Yeah.
And
you can be honest with each other. You can keep it real, you know.
Hey, by the way, like this, and this. And it's like, hey, my seller wanted me to tell you this. And they can take it for what it's supposed to be taken as instead of like ammo or something like that. What do you think of reputation? Because it is everything, but I didn't even realize till, I guess, recently, but like how your your personal reputation, you know, like you don't know like how people interpret you, like you said. But I had a lender call me and he was just with the buyer's agent, and he was like, oh yeah, I know Danny Lopez, which was with Jesse and Edward and Pando. He does, like, I think he does videos and stuff with it. But he's a great guy, and that lender knew him. And he was like, hey, Danny said you're great, man. I just wanted to introduce myself. I heard great things. And like, it's just kind of wild to hear, but it's like, no, it's just like the hard work and being the top producer. It's like, no, I just try to do right every time. And I don't think too large. Like, I'm just like, no, I want to treat this person right. And then next person right. And it's cool to develop that, because you're right. Like, it is everything as far as how they view you when they see your listing. I mean, it's important. What do you think as far as your reputation? Is that something you were conscious of, or were you kind of like me where you're like, I just want to be a good person, and in tune it turned into that?
Yeah. The second part of what you said is I try to do the right thing, trying to be the best person I can. And then it just kind of turned into like, man, when I talk to people like you and they have good things to say, it's like they have a good reputation, and that was just kind of naturally built. Like, and you realize how important it is, because you hear from other people what they think about you, what this person thinks about you. It's like, man, reputation, everything. I'm glad I'm naturally doing the right thing.
Yeah. Because when you hear it at first, like, you're like, thank goodness. But it's not like you expect something different.
I wasn't trying to be. I just felt like I should be.
Yep.
Right.
Man, so with the last 2 years of really taking the realtor side serious and building that, like, how do you feel now that you're about to embark on a new chapter, but it's by choice and not by like stress or depression or things? Like, how do you feel making those decisions in grace?
Man, it's stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little stressful, because I feel like I put a lot of stress on myself, because I feel like if these other people fail on my team, I'm a big reason for it. You know, but at the same time, I gotta also realize that like I am a big reason for it, but they also have to put in the work as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's a little bit stressful. I was a bit nervous too, because like, you know, I'm used to being a top producer, right? So what if I'm not the top no more? You know, so I have to be okay with that. Like, because you're going to have to put back time. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to do 10 million like you did this year, you know, and I got to be okay with that. As long as these people are doing more, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So it's different. You have to kind of change your mindset a little bit. You got to change your thinking a little bit. You have to have, you know, it's more of a leadership thinking versus like, I'm just worried about myself. And so those will probably be the hardest things. So I'm just so used to doing my own thing, put my head down, grinding, and go. I got no one to answer to but my wife. That's what I love. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so now I have to other people that I'm responsible for, and I want to make sure I was just as successful, you know.
Man, excited for the new chapter, because that's the progression. You know, you like the good ones grind it out and really build a lane for themselves, but then you have to move on past that, because you can't just work yourself to death. But you're still working, but I mean, like, you can't just always do everything. Yeah.
And that's another reason why I decided I wanted a team, is because like I'm having a really good year, obviously, but like it was a lot of work, dude. Like a lot of late nights, coming home at 8 o'clock, coming home at 7 o'clock,
and then getting on the laptop.
Yeah,
then exactly. Overtime.
Like, I can do this now, you know, it's in my blood, but how long can I do this? I'm 38, right? I can't do this forever, nor do I want to. I want to be able to spend more time at my house with my family, and not just the special moments with my kids and things like that. So it's like, one, I want to be available more and be in the moment more. And two, I also want to take what I learned in such a short period of time and help somebody else do the same and impact their lives as well.
I get it. So, man, I know we've been jumping around a little bit, but something I'm always curious about with fathers is, you kind of touched on it with saying how your mindset changed, but Like, what is fatherhood? How do you feel about fatherhood now, being a father of two, but also being a successful man in this world? Like, how does it affect you?
Man, it affects me a lot. I mean, I think about it every day. Some of the things we talked about, reputation and stuff, the first person's reputation that I think about is my kids, right? What are they saying to their friends? What are their friends saying to her? Like, you know, because when think about when we're growing up, so-and-so's dad does this.
Yeah.
So-and-so's mom does this, right? Like, I think about that stuff. Like, what are they saying about her? You know, how is she carrying herself, right? Is she being humble? Is she being kind to others? You know what I mean? What is her memories and things that she talks about are going to be when she's 25 years old? Like, I remember when my dad used to do X, Y, Z. You know, you want those to be good things coming out of their mouths, not like, you know, I remember when my dad used to, you know, do drugs in the bathroom. Like, that's things that I have to say, unfortunately. But I will make sure that my daughter never does, right? She'll say, and even sometimes it's comes across bad, but it's not like, she'll say, you know, I remember my dad used to come home late from work, right? You say that, you're like, man, that sounds bad, but it's like, not really. She's saying my dad used to come home late from work, and not my dad used to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, pick your bag.
And it's not forever.
Right? And it's not forever. Right?
Especially when she gets older. My dad used to come home late from work, but turned into this. Created this.
Yeah, and my dad used to take me to the beach every summer.
Yeah.
Because he came home late from work. So like, I always think about, you know, what they're going to say, the memories that I give them, and just, I want them to also grow up to be good human beings as well, you know. Good human beings. It's not all about money and success. Like, how are you as a person? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and that's everything we've been talking about, like reputation, like your daily habits, how you treat others. That's why those things are so important, because they all contribute to your success. And I think that's so important, especially because I just feel like not every kid gets the opportunity to learn from great people. Yeah. Even if they're good humans.
Think about how many like great special kids there are that never get to see that potential because they weren't around great people, or they weren't around a good mentor, or they were just around you're in product of your environment, right?
Yeah, the worst environment.
Right. And so that's what they grew up to. They grew up where that's just normal. To live like that, to think like that, to, you know, that's just normal to them because that's all they ever knew. And there's some really great kids that will never see that great out of them because of that.
Yeah, like not being told they can do anything they put their mind to, or not saying, yeah, I believe in you, or not shutting them down instantly. Right. Like, there's all these little moments, and then you don't really realize it till you're an adult, but then you're like, oh yeah, I do react that way because of trauma or because of this. And you're like, I need to stop that. Like, luckily you and I right now are talking about like, we need to accept compliments better. So we've at least like progressed enough to be worried about smaller things that are still impactful. But what if I could never look people in the eye and like never wanted to talk to anybody and had an attitude all the time and thought I didn't deserve anything? Like, it could be so bad. So for you to
just touched on trauma too. It's like, maybe you grew up around that and you don't realize or even want to admit that. Like, that's how you grew up. So you think that's normal. You don't even realize it.
It's crazy, man. I'll add.
We're getting deep there, but
no. I love it because it's so true. Like, you had said it earlier when you were saying I'm a top producer and like shrugging. One day I rode to the refuge at 5 a.m. because I wanted to see the sunrise. And when I was riding down there, I was screaming, I deserve this, for like 45 seconds, but crying on my motorcycle. And I was like, I'm so hard on myself, but like, bro, like, you work hard, like, you deserve to be, like you said, my house was peaceful. Like, you deserve a peaceful house because the house you grew up in was fucking tornado. Like, it's okay. And sometimes you have to give yourself that grace and say like, no, this is okay. Like one day, bro, and I don't do this often, but we just got back from a trip and we were gone for a few weeks. So that first Saturday I was like, I'm going to try my best to do nothing. And I almost accomplished it. I made it till like 5 p.m. before I dove into doing something. But I had to consciously keep telling myself like, don't do anything. Like, you know what? I'm gonna play some video games. I'm gonna make some coffee. And like, I had to rewire it because I'm so used to like, you always have to keep going. So there's all these little moments, and I
think there's something to do. What am I missing? What do I need to check on? What's going on with this file? What's going on with that file? You know.
And sometimes you have to be like, no, bro, like I've I've held such a high standard that these moments are grace as well. I used to think that like I was missing out on something, but slowly I've tried to integrate like, no, this day is slow for a reason. Because every other day was fast. Like you're sitting here complaining because on this Sunday afternoon you're relaxing, but you're like, man, you just did 8 to 8 for 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's generally why I love Thanksgiving and Black Friday, because like no matter what you're got going on, it slows you down.
Yeah, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get a nice gap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Title companies closed. Well, majority of your clients aren't reaching out to you because they got things going. You got things going, so it's just peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet, and then you don't feel guilty for it.
Yeah,
don't feel guilty at all. But like even now, as entrepreneurs, then have so many high goals. If we try to take a day to ourselves, even if it takes some adjustment and getting used to do that, and then you kind of feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you feel like, man, all right, that was cool, but like, what did I miss? The slightly 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're kind of. That's the same with vacation. You love vacation; it's nice, but then you come back and then you have to feel like you have work overload.
Yeah, I think I've been blessed because I've experienced that. But when we first started taking longer trips, not that much would change.
Yeah.
And after like 3 or 4 years of taking longer trips, I was like, there are like I was talking to Eddie. I told you when I'm talking to Eddie, it's like, hey, bro, you've already got the game that you need. Like, I can't give you too much of this because you don't need to be like me. But I was like, you have to be okay with X amount of dollars being unearned that month.
Yeah.
Not besides your pipeline, because you'll have your pipeline.
Right.
But like, I mean, new business for that period. But over the years, I realized I was like, nothing's really changing. And so that's why I was telling you earlier, like I started leaning into making sure to get those times, because then I'm not short with my wife or having an attitude, or I'm not short with clients, or I'm not stressed running around making bad decisions as far as like missing things or mistakes on files. And it's like you sometimes need that recharge. Now, it's not always a vacation, but maybe it's the Friday, like you said today. You're like, well, I only did a couple things.
Right.
And you have to kind of give yourself some kudos for that, because you just did today what I was trying to do last Sunday, where it's like, I'm going to try and do nothing.
Yeah.
Now things come up, but you have to be able to recharge.
Yeah.
So especially with you being such a high performer, it's nice to know that it's still going to be a focus for you.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I'm glad that you did this.
Man, me too. I feel like we learned a lot about each other, man. It was good.
Yeah, nobody really knows like what'll come out or how they'll enjoy it or not. And personally, I really enjoyed it. So I just appreciate you being open and sharing some of it. But
yeah,
I know I've said it a million times in this episode, but I am proud of you. But it's really nice to know people like you. Yeah. I always tell people when I interview folks, it's great. I love meeting all those people and creating those relationships. But those men that I meet that have a good head on their shoulders and a good heart, it's like very inspiring because we did learn stuff that's going to help us individually. So I just appreciate you.
No, I enjoyed it for real. I mean, you never know what you're going to get going on podcasts. Is it straight business? Is it straight personal? Is it going to get too deep? Things like that. But like we had like a good, just like man to man, open conversation. And it doesn't feel like I'm on a podcast. It feels like literally like we're on a mandate. We're just getting to know each other. Like, bro, you're doing good. No, you're doing good. You know? So like, I think just personally, like we both probably needed this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like I said, we got to go know each other deeper on like a personal level other than just straight business.
I appreciate your vulnerability though and honesty, because like you said, you don't know what to expect. And my goal is to have a good experience with the person I'm with, like who I'm sitting across from.
Yeah.
And that's the most important goal. So to know that you had a good time, I had a good time, and we can grow from it is like what it's all about. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll get out of here, but thank you, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.